Hey guys, welcome back to Tech and More Tech. It's the first week of January 2020, which means that CES pretty much just ended. And originally what I wanted for this video was to be like a sort of top 10 smart home announcements from CES. But as I was kind of looking at the list of things that were announced, I really didn't find many that were all that impressive or all that really exciting, right? So I kind of changed it up a little bit. So instead I'm going to do sort of top 3 products that I thought were exciting that were announced. And then also kind of take a look at what CES 2020 sort of is going to tell us about the near future of the smart home industry. If you're also interested in a more sort of complete list of all the different smart home stuff that was announced at CES, check the link in the description below. So first up is the Kohler & Mohn smart bathroom and kitchen appliances, accessories, whatever you want to call them. Yes, the smart home is entering your bathroom. No place is sacred anymore. People are kind of talking about the Kohler Mixi smart shower head, or which basically has a Harman Kardon speaker built in with Alexa. So all of us that may or may not have like an Echo Dot inside their bathroom, just for asking what time it is and stuff like that, if you're getting ready in the morning, you now have a speaker and Alexa built right into your shower head. I didn't think that was particularly interesting because it's not that particularly interesting. I was actually more interested in their digital shower systems and their smart faucets. Now, the digital shower system literally means what you might think it is where you can have your virtual assistant or your phone, your app, whatever, turn on your shower, change the temperature, all that kind of stuff. The only way I'm really seeing that being super useful is you're super cold out and you just want to get right into your hot shower, so you turn it on like as you're walking into your home. I don't know. Let's be honest, that kind of stuff isn't going to make it into normal people's homes. I'm definitely not going to get anything like that. That's more something you're going to find in shows like $1 Million Listing or houses like in the Hollywood Hills. The smart faucets, though, I think could see themselves in more homes. Probably you're not going to retrofit your own home with them, but basically the way that smart faucet works is, you can use the app or whatever to control your faucet. The application of it that is somewhat interesting is being able to say like, hey Siri, pour me 2 cups of water. And then you hold your pot out and then boop, it pours down 2 cups of water exactly. So if you're big into cooking, if you're big into baking, whatever, and you use like the kitchen for that all the time, I can see that being useful. Instead of having a measuring cup every single time, you kind of just ask for it for, 1/8 of a cup, 2 cups, whatever. Again, none of these systems are probably going to make it into anyone's home anytime soon. Not mine, probably not yours. If it does make it into yours, please let me know. I'd love to check it out. But really, it's probably going to be for like high-end homes where the developer is going to put in some crazy stuff, so it's a crazy selling point, right? So that's kind of the first thing that was more interesting than sort of everything else that was announced at CES. The second thing that was interesting was the LIFX TV and monitor multicolor light strips. LIFX, if you may or may not know, they kind of make smart lighting, but they're sort of most notable that all of their lights and all their stuff can do multicolors within the same light strip or even within the same light bulb, which is really interesting. They're basically sort of competitor to Hue. So what they released is another new light strip, also multicolors, so the same strip can kind of show the different colors versus like a Hue strip which can only show one at a time, so that you can put in the back of your gaming monitor or your TV. Now, I reviewed the Hue HDMI sync box a couple months ago, and I really liked it. My biggest grievance with the HDMI sync box was that A, it was expensive just on its own, and then if you wanted, let's say, the full experience, which would be a light along every edge of your TV, so 4 edges, you need to buy 4 light strips, and they're $8 each, which is what, $320 for 4 of them. You're spending almost $600 just to have fancy lighting behind your TV. However, so LIFX announced just the new strip, specifically for TVs and one specifically for gaming monitors. Now, that's not the exciting part. Well, it kind of is. But the more exciting part is if they come out with their own sort of HDMI sync software for the computer or a hardware device for your TV, all of a sudden you could potentially have the same effect, but for half the cost. And I'm pretty sure that just about anyone is just going to buy that instead of the Hue product, right? Because you're going to spend half the amount of money to get the exact same result. Presumably it'll work well, etc., blah, blah, blah. LIFX seems to be pretty high quality stuff. So even though it's not technically a product that exists yet, I'm excited to see if LIFX does come out with it, in which case that'll be super sweet. And lastly, the third sort of announcement that caught my eye out of all the stuff that was announced at CES for smart home stuff came from Nanoleaf. You guys may know them as the triangular lights on people's walls that you see on Instagram and stuff. And they look cool, but specifically they came out with a learning series. So they came out with a switch, a button, a hub, a gateway, whatever, and a bulb light. Now, any of those products on their own are not interesting at all because there's 1,000 of them like it already in the market, whatever. However, it's the learning series part that's interesting. And I think that they're making the biggest strive towards progressing smart homes, right? If you kind of think about it, anything where you're still kind of controlling it manually, it's kind of halfway to a smart home, right? You're basically just controlling it, but from a distance. But you still have to control it. Whereas the learning series is supposed to learn your habits, like when you turn your lights on, how long you have to keep them on for, etc., etc. So if they can sort of get their machine learning and their AI to develop to the point where you don't have to turn your lights on anymore, you kind of just walk into the room and it turns them on, and it has them on during certain times of the day because it knows that you're there, because it knows that you want them on based on your habits, etc. That's going to take another big step forward in terms of smart home. And I'm sure they'll be able to advertise that really, really well. The same way the Nest thermostat, when it came out years and years ago, it was a learning thermostat. People love that. It's like, oh, you know, it'll learn my habits. I never have to change the temperature anymore because it just knows, etc. I think the learning series from Nanoleaf is going to be that same sort of progression. I hope that other manufacturers also jump on board, whether it be Hue, whether it be Amazon with their Alexa products, whoever. I want to see more machine learning, more AI involved in the sort of smart home world, basically. So those are the three products that sort of caught my eye from CES. And that leads us into what CES 2020 kind of previewed for us in terms of the near future of the smart home industry, let's call it. First off, basically every company is kind of just padding out their product line, right? They're just filling the little sort of gaps and niches that they previously didn't have a product in, like outdoor lighting, battery powered or solar powered outdoor cameras, lighting, etc. And then also based on the amount of Wi-Fi devices that are still rolling out, we're basically not going to see anything new in terms of connectivity until probably another 1.5 or 2 years, until Amazon, Google, Apple, Zigbee, and their chip alliance come up with their sort of new standard and then persuade hardware manufacturers and stuff to sort of start implementing that standard. So yeah, I don't really anticipate any big new hardware or really even ecosystem changes for another like year, maybe 2, until that new formed alliance comes up with their new standard, manufacturers start manufacturing with that new standard, and then hopefully they will also be able to accelerate their machine learning and their AI to really sort of give you better smart home automations and suggested automations and all that kind of stuff that's really going to sort of push maybe not the whole industry forward, because you can get most of that right now if you put in a lot of work, but it's going to be more accessible to sort of the everyday user. So yeah, CES 2020, pretty good show in terms of all the other different technologies being shown, but in terms of smart home, don't expect a ton of new stuff this year. Probably next year we will see some bigger developments. I could be wrong. I mean, Amazon or Google might come up with their own event in a couple months and going to just blow me away. You never know. But please comment down below what your favorite smart home announcement was at CES this year. I'm really curious to see what you guys think. Maybe you guys see something a little bit differently. Maybe you're a little bit more optimistic or a little bit more hopeful for the products coming down the line. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button for plenty more videos to come. Plan on doing a lot more smart home dedicated stuff in terms of how to set your smart home up, what different automations you can have. So be sure to check out techtechmortech.com. And until next time, see ya. Boop.